Deku left our hero academy.
Okay. Oh.
Looks like a huge villain.
Oh, wow. He has a hat.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's React. I'm Kenny and this is my beautiful wife, Montana.
And today we're going to be reacting to Season 6, Episode 18 of My Hero Academia, Izuku Midoriya and Tomura Shigaraki. Hell yeah, sign me up. All right.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what Shigaraki's response to being taken over is going to be.
Release me!
No, I don't think I will.
We'll see what happens in this episode, but if you're excited for more episodes of My Hero Academia, make sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe down below for episodes coming every Friday and Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't wait and want to see these episodes right now, including a few episodes of Season 7, which I have not seen, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where these extended uncut episodes are all posted right now, along with other shows we're watching, Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, and Hazbin Hotel. Are we excited for episode 18 of Season 6 of My Hero Academia?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go.
Dunderheads, this video was brought to you by the incredible members of the Let's React Patreon. If you want access to a ton of exclusive perks, check out the link in the description below. Have a good day, Twinkle Toes!
I can feel it. The vestige of me that lives within One For All. Inside you. Right now, he must be talking with the previous wielders.
What's going on? What happened to everybody else? My friends? My teachers? Please, let them be okay.
We need to have ourselves a talk before you wake up.
My apologies.
Oh boy.
The timing's not ideal.
Fate has brought us here.
Oh, please. It's just bad luck this is happening now.
Banjo, you spoke to him before, yes? When he first used Black Whip?
These are the people who had One For All before me. They're in my dreams again.
Sick.
All right.
At first, we could only talk to you when we
goodness.
found cracks in your consciousness.
Just the like corner of a concrete room in the Rainbow Road is very cool looking.
It was just funny because like this is the same shot they did before the intro and you just didn't react that way.
Really? Oh, no, I did not.
I'm sorry, I need you to see.
Wait, yeah. Oh, damn.
One For All before me.
Whoa!
In my dreams again.
Okay.
Oh my god! So this
Okay,
is
I was
no
focusing on
reaction.
something.
Then we get over here. Oh
At first, we could
shit!
only...
You're so mean to me.
Come on, that's funny.
No, it's really dumb.
We're gonna see it again.
Holy
First,
shit,
we
you
could only talk
guys.
to you when we found cracks in your consciousness. But we're not limited to those moments anymore. The reason is related to my power, which you now hold. About 4 months ago, it suddenly began to grow at a rapid pace. As a result of this acceleration, the previous wielders, the figures you see in front of you now, were able to take shape and communicate with each other inside of One For All. When my brother forcibly pulled us into the battle earlier, we gained even more freedom. It's now far easier for us to appear before you.
Oh.
Don't you worry. We'll still give you plenty of
Unintentionally
privacy,
helpful.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot you don't have a mouth in here.
Right. Back then, I wasn't able to do much more than make noise. Now it feels like my mouth's starting to take shape.
Dang! I can almost understand
all
what
right.
you're saying.
Allow me to explain.
Who are you?
We'll see.
My name's Hikage Shinomori, and I was One For All's fourth wielder. During
Okay.
the recent battle, you unintentionally tapped into my quirk and used it on the field.
According to All Might,
Which-
the fourth wielder's quirk was the ability to sense danger.
It was
Oh,
kind of a
okay.
shock, to be honest.
Anxiety King.
Strange that I didn't sense you'd be using danger sense since it is my quirk.
Yeah, how did you not see that coming?
Number 4's a weird one. He got tired of everyday life, so he started living in seclusion like a hermit.
Mine was a terrible era. The rest of society was strange, not me. Were you informed of how I died and how old I was?
Oh, wow.
Look how he can die.
Yeah.
All Might didn't mention specifics in his notes.
So
Actually,
he was 40.
I'm pretty sure he crossed out
Was
the
that all
important
blacked
details.
out?
We discovered I died of old age.
But he was so young.
I was as surprised as you. Neither Banjo nor I had any way of knowing how we died. We only found out because Yagi looked into the matter. What this fact leads us to believe is that One For All can't be wielded safely by an ordinary human being. I'm second only to Yagi in
Like
terms
someone
of users who lived
quirkless?
with the quirk the longest.
Okay.
For 18 years, I spent my days training and building up the power as best I could, avoiding All For One. I always knew I didn't stand a chance of defeating him myself, so I figured the best thing I could do was improve the quirk for its next user. But as
Okay.
time passed,
Pretty smart.
cracks began appearing on my body. I thought perhaps I
wow.
wasn't training enough, or that I'd contracted some unknown disease. That wasn't the case. As Yagi researched, he was able to track down my medical records and autopsy report. That's when the truth came to light. The natural causes that killed me were due to the multiple quirks inside my body. They drastically shortened my lifespan.
Wow. So everyone moving forward is gonna have a shorter lifespan too,
Yeah.
and like progressively shorter.
Okay, having the subtitles in Japanese is devious.
So helpful.
What a-
Thank you.
So multiple quirks can take down your lifespan.
Yeah.
Had the power longer, and it was even stronger than when you wielded it.
So All Might had it
Had it
longer.
for a long
That's
time.
correct, which is exactly the reason we needed to talk to you. Yagi is fully aware of what a burden it is to carry One For All, a burden that you'll have to deal with. We don't have a proper sample size. Most of us didn't have the power long. We died in battle, not of old age. So we asked, what was the intrinsic difference between Yagi and Shinomori?
All Might was quirkless.
Oh.
Yagi may still be alive, but as he gathered
okay.
information, we took what he learned through the piece of him.
So
that
that's why he
exists
picked
inside of One
Deku.
For All. And then,
Well, I don't think he quite knew that.
But maybe it was like a draw.
Actually, yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna re-listen. Sorry. The funny thing is, we're now 7 episodes away from where I've seen. So like, I haven't rewatched this
That's
in a
so
while.
fun.
Like, this is kind of new, and it
Great
almost feels like
news.
I haven't seen this. But I guess it's because a lot of information. It was hard to retain it all.
All Might was quirkless.
yes, Yagi may still be alive, but as he gathered information, we took what he learned through the piece of him that exists inside of One For All. And then, after I heard what my brother had to say, I was certain.
Oh yeah.
According to what he said, a person's consciousness is etched into their quirk factor. So why is Yagi's vestige here, even though he didn't have an ability of his own? We always thought a piece of the user ended up inside of One For All because of the power they were born with. More precisely, that the consciousness of every wielder after me lived on because their quirk factors were added to my One For All, Yagi being the exception. With no quirk of his own, he's the only user who gained a vestige through One For All itself. Think of one's ability to hold a quirk as a glass. If it's not empty when they inherit One For All, it overflows, eating away at your lifespan.
Okay.
Yagi was able to use One For All over the course of 40 years because his vessel was empty at first. My cultivated
Okay.
power fit perfectly, and it became his true quirk. By some twist of fate, this ability that's passed from person to person could only reach its true potential when wielded by someone born powerless.
Wow.
So Deku's perfect.
That's the obstacle is the way.
It's too much. One For All could be passed on anymore. Is that what you're trying to say?
There is a caveat. You could pass it on to another quirkless person, but they're like an endangered species, few and far between these days. It's not something we could have known in the beginning. We learned this over generations of observation.
And they didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been fate once again that the two of you somehow became back-to-back recipients.
He was perfect.
If we'd been able to talk with the other users sooner, perhaps fewer people might have suffered over the years.
You get what this means, kid? You might be the last person who wields One For All.
Wow.
The last wielder?
And now the real question. Izuku. Tell us, can you kill Tomura Shigaraki?
Wow.
Can you kill?
Can you kill him?
So that's an interesting question and one that hasn't really been asked in this show. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Deku's always been a defensive, protective kind of person. The idea of going after someone with the intent to kill them is like a bit more, I don't know exactly what word I'm looking for, but I think it's a lot easier to act in self-defense in the moment rather than to like internally justify like, okay, this guy is terrible. He's killed a lot of people. The only way to stop him is killing him. So I have to kill him in order to save a bunch of people. That's tough for a heroic person to wrap their head around.
Yeah. And yet these really famous like beacons of hope are saying that maybe you should. Like,
that you have to.
That gave me, that reminded me of like Kyoshi.
Yes. 100%.
But the buff tall woman saying you need to kill the...
Can you murder?
Yeah. Also, my thoughts on this, first of all, I don't remember that danger sense scene. That was sick, seeing him dodge all that. But the quirks, so if you're quirkless, it's better to have One For All because you can fully hold
How
it.
cool is that? Very interesting.
Yeah, so Deku, that's why Deku is the only one who's really unlocked these quirks, is he's just kind of perfectly suited. Now it's his true quirk.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Whoa!
Can you kill Tomura Shigaraki? That's not a request. I'm gauging your resolve. When you saw that boy's face, you thought he looked as though he was asking for help, didn't you? We feel your emotions, so we know what was ringing through your head in that moment of desperation.
The problem is, the rest of us had a completely different take on the situation. We know All For One was inside his head, which was causing Shigaraki pain, yeah. But in that moment, it didn't seem like he wanted to be saved. Even as he suffered in front of us, those terrible eyes held nothing but hatred.
Because that's the person All For One raised him to be. My brother was incarcerated during the fight. I think his plan was probably to possess Shigaraki both physically and mentally, so that he could take One For All.
Me and N, my junior here, we both ended up facing All For One, but we managed to keep him from stealing the power from us. 'Cause in order to make One For All surrender, you gotta come at it with a passion that surpasses the quirk's incredible power. No person can produce such an overwhelming will alone. Our best guess is All For One's trying to use Shigaraki's hatred as a booster.
Okay,
At the heart of the quirk
it's a powerful booster.
is a grit that refuses to yield to that monster.
Wait,
despite his strength.
This feels new too.
We believe that One For All is meant to destroy All For One completely. It looked like Yagi had accomplished this, but my brother is tenacious, and he's trying to make a comeback.
Izuku, I know it's not fair to tell you this after explaining you can't abandon your power. But Tomura Shigaraki is my grandson. I left my family to fight All For One, abandon my child, and this is the result. We're in a terrible situation. It's disgraceful that I failed to achieve my goal, and now have to rely on a 16-year-old. However, if that monster manages to fully awaken, no one will be able to stop him. You can't make him see reason or offer him forgiveness. Some people are simply beyond redemption. And I believe Tomura is one of them. So if you think he looked like he wanted to be saved, ask yourself, in the end, will you have the resolve necessary to kill him?
Save him just to kill him?
Or, like, are you going to think to save him, or are you going to do the job?
Do we need to do, yeah.
No, that's what it felt like. When Shigaraki's consciousness penetrated One For All, we were so close. I know how hard he focuses on his dream. Yet in the depths of that hatred, I could sense a lost child crying.
You know, learning about the past.
Yep. Received this power. I had to, because they wouldn't back down. It was my only option. The thing is, I never found out why they ended up becoming villains. What caused all their anger? If I had known, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I still would have had to fight. Maybe not. Shigaraki killed so many innocent people. He hurt those I care about. But still, One For All isn't a power meant to do harm. It's a power meant to save. That's something I learned from All Might. It's not just me.
His vestige perking up.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
And tears has encouraged countless people to become better versions of themselves over the generations. Even if it started as a way to destroy your brother. It's evolved into something else thanks to what you've done. One For All has taken on another purpose in this world. I don't know what I should do next, that's true. And I get that the only way to stop him might be to kill him, but...
Oh, I thought that was Mineta. Okay. Oh.
Little Deku.
That's so sad.
And that's why we'll follow your lead.
Oh.
I'm so happy that my power was passed on to you two.
My body!
This was a test, for which I apologize.
It was a test. I'm completely forgetting this.
Alive.
What?
When you wake up, tell him I said hello. Sarahiko, we made a mistake those many years ago. Yet somehow, we were still blessed with the most amazing students.
You two better start helping out. You can't just ignore us. We need your cooperation.
These guys.
One For All's full potential.
I don't know what you're saying, but I can feel the conversation. The predecessors are sharing their stories. The truth about One For All, my master's regrets. The exact details may be hazy, but the information is flowing through me. You were once quirkless, and now look at you.
He's so proud of him.
It's nice to meet you, All Might.
You're Hawks, right?
Let's skip the intros so I can get straight to the important stuff. Is Midoriya going to recover?
Yes, he'll pull through this. He should be
He's
conscious.
crying in real life too.
But he's not the only reason you're here.
This is about Midoriya, and One For All.
Oh boy.
The hero from the raid heard something about it on the radio, then mentioned it to reporters.
Oh no.
More and more people are asking questions, and Endeavor told us that as the battle progressed, Shigaraki was targeting Midoriya, a mere UA student. I'm trying to get the full picture. Because from now on, we're not just fighting villains, we are also battling public sentiment.
You must keep this secret to ensure your own well-being, true, but also for the safety of the world.
Things have changed so much, so quickly. And these two aren't the types to back down. We should talk somewhere private. I'll tell you everything.
It's been 3 days.
So,
all right.
Lot to discuss there.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Okay, yeah, so everyone knows. Or,
well,
they know that there's something. People are asking about it. And it's like, unfortunately, like the Streisand effect, kinda. Which is basically Barbara Streisand found out that her house was posted and was like, oh my God, take it down, take it down, take it down. And then everyone heard about like her being weird about it and was like, actually, I do want to know where you live. And so if they don't address it right away, the non-answer is going to be so conspicuous that it's going to get out even more because they're trying to suppress it.
Yeah, that could very well be.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's
yikes.
A tough situation with like knowing what to do about it. And then what do you think about Deku and his thoughts on Shigaraki. So I said, like, if he knew his past without remembering that he literally saw his past, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, it makes sense for Deku that he's just not going to kill him. That's not who he is. That's not how he wants to win.
And it was a test, and he passed.
Yeah,
so.
all right. Good for him. Nice, fabulous work.
Now the Vestiges are going to be easier to talk to.
Well, thank goodness, because it's about time they start carrying their weight around here.
Yeah, having some teachers.
Literally, like, if the Vestiges are going to be more accessible, I wonder if the other powers are going to be more accessible too. Probably. It'd kind of be silly if they weren't.
We'll see. And then, last thing, the two people facing away.
You two better start helping out. You can't just ignore us. We need your cooperation to unleash One For All's full potential.
Maybe they're just not on board with the, like, eternal hangout situation. Because, okay, like a couple episodes ago where one of the Vestiges said something along the lines of, like, we chose to stay here, like, to help you because we believe in this, whatever. So if they're there, I feel like that means they would have had to buy into it the same way we were just talking about. But if they just have their back turned the whole time and the other Vestiges are like, you can join in whenever you want. I really don't know, because those two ideas are pretty contradictory. Like, either they decide to be there or not. And if they did decide to be there, why are they acting like they didn't decide to be there? All right.
Interesting questions. We'll see.
We should talk somewhere private. I'll tell you everything.
It's been 3 days since the incident. With every passing hour, there's more panic. But despite reports, I don't think everyone wants to blame the pros. They want to believe heroes have integrity, to feel their protectors did nothing wrong. People want to feel safe. They need somebody to put their faith in.
Dabi is indeed my oldest son, Toya Todoroki. I can't deny what he spoke is the truth. I stand before you to apologize for my misdeeds.
Okay.
Endeavor talked to the press at length about his family's ugly past and asked the world to forgive him.
Oh man, that's the end of his pro career.
What a terrible
Says
father.
you.
Dude, he should have denied it. I was rooting for the guy.
You're saying that he didn't lie, but he did!
He's right. Best Jeanist is alive, which refutes Dabi's claims that Hawks murdered him.
Yeah! Get your story straight!
Best Jeanist was made to look like he was dead, and that's how I infiltrated their ranks. But the rest of the awful things Dabi mentioned are correct for the most part. My father's identity, how I killed a desperate villain who was running away, that's all true. I apologize for hiding the truth about my origin. I know now that it was a mistake.
All right,
Regarding
so they're owning it.
Korra, the League member known as Twice, I thought I had no other choice but to keep him out of the fight. If he had activated his quirk, the damage would have been unimaginably worse than it already was. I did want to bring him in for his crimes. But in the end, his concern for his fellow League members forced the issue. I had to act. I feel awful for how things went down. I just hope you'll believe me.
I've got a question. In the chaos caused by Gigantomachia, my own mother was seriously injured. Do you really think apologizing and saying you feel bad fixes anything? Do you have any idea how many people lost their homes, their livelihoods this week? I don't think you understand how much you screwed up. It was the villains who did this, sure, but the only reason they were able to wreak havoc on such a scale is because of your mistakes!
If we stood up here crying and carrying on, would that make your mother better?
Huh? No, of course it wouldn't! But you could do something besides talk! Take care of the villains on the street! Be a hero.
You make a good point. As number one, that's how I will atone for my sins.
But right now, there are fewer heroes in the field.
That's quite big.
We are no longer equipped to protect so many citizens. With that in mind, we have patterned a temporary solution. After consulting with government officials, we'd like to announce that starting today, UA High and other schools with hero courses will be designated as emergency shelters. There should be plenty of space in these facilities for anyone who is scared or seeking protection. Families of enrolled students are already moving into these buildings.
Smart.
You want us to leave our homes with no idea when we can go back?
Do you want to stay?
We're looking toward the future. Direct your blame and anger at me, but let us help you. Plenty of pros are still risking their lives for you. Again, I'll say watch me.
Our champions are at a crossroads. If a hero is someone people know they can call on when they need help,
Mount Lady with
then the
Midnight.
heroes disappeared that day. Even so, there are those still willing to fight.
One Eye Aizawa. One Eye Aizawa.
That's just Zawa.
He lost an eye. You're ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
When Endeavor was asked about One For All, he said he knew nothing about it. That way, no one could be mad at Deku or All Might.
Guys, this is
All right.
super bad! Look! I had a letter from Midoriya on my door!
Yeah, we know. Us too. What is this? All for One? The villains are after him?
Doesn't make any sense.
Poor Midoriya.
Deku gave him all a letter.
Wow.
Thank you. So much.
Oh.
It's time for you and the rest of our class to know everything. So I'm writing letters to try and explain.
Oh my god. The whole
My quirk
thing?
is a power passed on to me from All Might. It's a gift that Shigaraki and All For One want to steal.
Wow.
So they're coming after me. The last thing I want to do is put others in danger. And it's dangerous to be near me. So I'm leaving UA.
Wow.
Being in the hero course and meeting
He's
everyone
leaving.
in Class A has made me happier than I could have ever imagined.
Oh no.
Thank you. And goodbye.
You idiot. If heroes are those who don't hesitate to take the hardest path, then who will be
There he
willing
goes
to follow
again.
them when they're suffering?
Yeah. No. Okay.
He's leaving
In
UA.
April, Deku left our hero academy.
It's showtime.
Okay. Oh.
Looks like a huge villain.
Oh wow. He has a hat. Now you're being mean to me.
I'm sorry, that's maybe the funniest response to seeing that shot ever. No, he has a hat.
It's a very cool look. It's like a look upgrade.
It's a mask.
It wasn't just
It covered
okay.
his whole face.
You feel that? It's a blood frenzy!
Was that another hero or one of the
Muscular.
weapons?
No wonder the fourth user's danger sense kept going off.
Whoa! What is the purple?
But what do you? So
Back
Deku's
on
left
track.
UA and
Good
now
God.
he looks like that
Okay.
and is looking over his.
I mean, in terms of like protecting his classmates and all of the people who are like refugees in the school now, it was probably the smartest decision. But God, he needs his people around him, not just like for his own safety, but like for his like mental well-being. And now he's got this like rogue vigilante look going on. Very cool. What?
It's just funny. You use some good observations. But anyway, make sure to hit like, comment, subscribe down below if you're excited for our next episode of My Hero Academia. We have episodes coming out every Sunday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't wait and want to see these episodes right now, including the rest of Season 6, they're all posted at Patreon in their extended full-length forms. Along with that, a few episodes of Season 7, which I have not seen, will be a total blind reaction. We have a lot to discuss, but before we do that, where are we headed?
All right, let's review.
Thank you for watching. For now, we're going to go to questions given to us by our amazing Patreon members. If you want to help us decide what we're going to watch next and ask us questions after every episode we watch, join the link in the description below and start asking. For now, let's go to question 1. All right, question 1. Day asks, do you think Deku's choice was the right one to leave UA in order to protect those at UA, or a selfish one to burden everything alone?
I think it was the smart decision, just knowing that Shigaraki has decay. He can't be near them, unfortunately. Yeah, I kind of think he did what he had to do.
So you don't think it's like a bad thing for him to burden this alone or to take it alone, or what do you think?
I mean, it's gonna be more difficult for him, for sure. But just in terms of like his ability to get anything done, if he were at school, knowing that he's like the target, you can't do anything in that situation. Any hero work, any learning, any training, any planning. Yeah. So it's not an ideal situation, but it's better than the alternative.
Well, we'll see if it is, but let's go to our second question. Question 2, HBomb24 asks, how do you think Deku's friends will take the news of his quirk and his leaving UA? Since it's his quirk that All For One wants, do you think they will perceive his leaving as the correct or incorrect course of action?
I think they're gonna think it's the right choice in the sense that like he's basically a magnet for the two biggest villains. They're being pulled towards him essentially. So I think they're gonna be on board with that idea. I'm curious how they're going to take the news of his quirk being so special and essentially the idea that Deku's been lying to them. And like he hasn't. There were a lot of like lies by omission, or like when they asked, he didn't know the answer, but then he found out the answer and then just didn't tell them that he found out the answer. So he wasn't being dishonest, but...
There were a few times where he was a little dishonest.
No, he definitely was, but there are a lot of other situations where it's like kind of gray, but still, like, I think his classmates are going to have a hard time feeling like they weren't lied to, especially the ones he was really, really close with. Like, I get not telling some like random person or someone in like class 1B who's like super competitive or just like a dick, but like Uraraka, he couldn't tell her, he didn't trust her. Like
she called him an idiot.
Yeah, like and it's hard not to interpret it as a personal thing, even if it's like, well, I didn't want you to get caught and tortured. I don't know. It's a little personal.
So you think they'll be upset but think he did the right thing?
Yeah, and I think as time goes on and as they talk with each other, they're going to kind of like talk themselves out of the initial betrayal that they feel, but I do feel like betrayal is the first like inherent gut reaction to finding out something like that.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see how they react. I just can't say anything. Let's go to our final question. Final question. Day asks, thoughts about Deku probably being the last wielder of One For All since quirkless people are almost extinct. What possible repercussions do you think Deku will have on his psyche knowing that?
I mean, that's such an interesting like twist, because I mean, the idea of deciding who he was gonna pass it on to. I mean, well, I had been thinking of like, who is he gonna pass it down to? So knowing that that's like kind of not on the table, and everything that One For All could possibly be used for to improve the world needs to be accomplished by Deku in his lifetime. Like that's a lot of pressure to put on someone. Like essentially you decide how far this goes. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, a lot to live up to. It's a tough thing to decide too. Like, I mean, obviously every person has like a life timer, stopwatch, whatever, going. That's like at a certain point, you're gonna die and you're gonna be done, and then whatever you've done is what you've done, and that's it. But with a quirk that gets passed on and vestiges, there's still this kind of like, even if I don't get everything done, the legacy can continue, and I can
especially
still...
in terms of defeating All For One.
Exactly. So knowing that like, no, it's you or it doesn't happen. That's a much more urgent kind of situation. It's a lot more stressful, and I mean, you're just gonna make decisions differently in that situation.
Yeah. I think that's some great analysis right there. And what I will say is, new Kenny thought on rewatch, I can say, is I didn't realize just how, like, I knew that, like, it was better that he was quirkless. Like, I thought that was the reason why they mentioned him being quirkless, was like, that was an explanation from getting all of the quirks. Mm-hmm. I did not put together, somehow forgot in my brain, that other people who had a quirk and then got One For All died early because their cup was overflowing type thing. Yeah. So you need a quirkless person, otherwise it's a death sentence type thing. And I didn't realize that pivots Deku into being the final user of One For All in a way. Like, that's such higher stakes than I even had in mind. So learn stuff new on rewatch.
I wonder if there's, like, I know, like, with quirk singularity theory that, like, the percentage of quirkless people is going down. Is near extinct. But couldn't one just appear? Couldn't two people with quirks have a quirkless baby?
Hey, random quirkless baby, want the most powerful quirk in existence and the overwhelming burden to take on the Lord of Evil in the universe? Let's just, see.
How is that different from what All Might did to Deku?
Because Deku, his entire life's goal is to be a hero and to do what he can to save the world.
What if that quirkless kid wants that same thing?
That's an if, but what I'm saying is, what are the odds that you find if it's so rare to even find a quirkless person, that quirkless person is 1, going to want to be a hero, period.
I kind of feel like they
going
would.
to be heroic. 3, going to have a body that is strong enough to hold All Might plus Deku, whatever he adds onto it. Like Deku at least built up his body to hold it in general and then got all the quirks. This kid would get all the quirks and all the power all at once.
Damn.
And Deku would have to like teach him how to, or teach her, or teach him, or teach them, non-binary One For All,
Hell yeah.
How to use the power. And when you think about it,
it's just too much.
Deku is a very unique type of person to be able to endure the pain that he had to use One For All.
Yeah.
I don't think your random quirkless, like, rare bird is going to be able to do that.
Yeah. All right.
You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think there's this countdown clock. Well, the other thing is you have to make sure you can trust them in general.
Also true.
Like, what if they're evil? You're giving them the greatest power ever.
Yeah. What if it's like an Attack on Titan thing, though, where it's like someone just decides, like, no, it's worth it to have a shortened lifespan in order to do superpower things for that shortened lifespan?
And, that would be an interesting thing, but I don't know the answer to that question, and I'm starting to almost not know what's happening next, but we're into the final arc before we start our joint blind reaction to My Hero Academia. Are we excited for episode 19 of season 6?
Can't wait.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go.